Hey, this is Chris Chandler with SandMountainHerbs.com, and today we're going to be talking about how to start your seeds in flats. There's Sand Mountain Herbs' youngest owner here, Sarah.
Come here.
And here's Papa.
We're going to demonstrate on how to sow seed in the 72 count seed flat pallet. It's pallets from Walmart, Kmart, or Lowe's, or some other seed place. You swell these pallets up. These are already swollen, and that
you just put water to them, don't you?
Yeah, they actually is. I prefer to swell them up and let them dry out. It don't get you so messy. Punch holes in them like this.
You can use a stick if you want to.
Yeah, you can use a stick.
If you don't get dirt under your nails, but if you're like most gardeners, you like a little dirt under your nails.
And what we're going to do is sow a few of these. We don't sow a few of these seed, tiny seed. This is Greek oregano. What I like to do is start these. Come here, Miguel.
Keep an eye on the baby.
Put a few of these in each container like this.
Tell them why you want to do a few each time.
You get too many growing in the same spot.
You do want to add a couple just so that one will grow and you.
Oh yes.
Yeah, you see the horsey?
This ain't don't work out as long as we got her.
She's fine. Go ahead.
And sow the seed in these pellets like this.
Don't let her fall.
Can we ring the doorbell? Why not?
Watch her, Maria.
After you get those sowed, I use a mixture of sand and peat moss. And just fill in the gaps between each little pellet.
Tell them why.
This is help conserve moisture in there, and give the little tiny roots on the side a chance to grow. All right, we got all them sowed like that. Then you take the hose and wet that down.
I'll get that.
No, we don't have to do that now.
Yeah, go ahead. Get the hose.
Get the hose. Come here, gal. Come here.
Come here, Sarah. Get Sarah. Get her. Get her.
Go.
Don't put her on that. Don't put her on that.
Don't get her up there.
Okay.
You soak them down and
put the top back on, and you can pick up a little rock or a little something to hold, keep the wind from blowing that off. Keep these in a shady area, but enough light for them to germinate, like on the porch. But you don't want direct hot light on them from the sun, because it'll go through there and burn the little seedlings up. And in 3 or 4 days, you'll start, maybe up to a week to 2 weeks, depending on the seed, you'll have little plants growing in each one of those little pots. If you got the markers, you can do just a few at a time of different things. You can write the little markers down, and you can start more than one kind, but make sure you know what you're sowing, where they sowed at. And you can keep these like this. I like to use under trees or under a porch, and those it'll hold the moisture on these seeds till they start to germinate. Once they start to germinate and coming out of the, take this off, because if you don't, the seed damp off. They'll pick up some fungus or something. They're supposed to be sterile, but everything, all kinds of fungus fly through the air and stuff. So this keeps them good and healthy, and water them about every 3 or 4 days, depending on how dry this gets. And then, if these little plants get bigger with the seed, the plant you plant, you can pot them in a bigger pot, and then when they get big enough, you can take them to the garden or put them in a bigger pot. So this is it's 2 or 3 step ways of growing them to a bigger pot. As they grow, always increase the pot size. You can grow herbs on the front porch, or different places around your house. You can have them hanging. You can, just like you would a potted flower. So when you get ready, what this does is hold the moisture on them till the seed germinates, and then you can they're ready to transplant to somewhere else when they get about maybe an inch high, or maybe less than that. And
but after they get up, you don't want to keep that on there, do you?
No.
How about when it rains? What do you do?
Well, once they get up pretty good, you can take them out and set them under a tree. Without this, you can set them on maybe a place on the ground that you got till they start growing up a little bit bigger. And then in the winter time, you can pay attention to seed, and check the internet for germination info on all plants. But in the fall of the year, I do this on seed that needs cold treated. I'll plant them like this and just set them out under a tree. Of course, the tree will lose its leaves and it'll be cold all winter. And you'll be surprised at the little seedlings that pops out of the ground when the temperature hits around 60 to 70 degrees in the spring. This, and not all seed germinates the first year. I have had the seed go through 2 or 3 years and maybe germinate a few, and then the next go through another winter and germinate a few more. And poke salad is the worst one in the world. It'd take 5 to 7 years. I have had cases of 40 years before it popped out of the ground. My sister around her house had this shrubbery here all around her house. She pulled all that out, exposed the seed to the sun and the moisture, and she had it as thick as dog hair all the way across her maypop. They'd been laying dormant 40 years in the dirt. And it takes a long time, lots of reading, lots of study, and experiments. Lots of seed is really hard to germinate. There's so many little tricks, but one thing about it, when you put them outside in nature and they in the right spot, they don't germinate. Example of that, we was cutting a pipeline up the side of Sand Mountain They took all the trees down. Leaf cover for 40 years had been completely ignored. I put out all the forestry service had put out fires. It didn't have a chance to burn off. But when they cut the trees and started digging them trenches, they boogered all this up. And the next spring there was billions and billions of seed come up, as far as you could see up the side of the mountain.
What plant?
All kinds. Anything in the woods. They wanted to change to get out from under that leaf cover, and they wanted light and they wanted moisture, and when they got it, they exploded. And then they died too many of them crowded each other out. And why I think ginseng grows in the woods, it'll grow in a pot real good. Come here, gal. Get her.
Sarah!
Is around roots of trees and around rocks. Come here.
Sarah!
Go get her.